Tonight on the Black Channel. Did I call it or did I call it? Letitia James, your number just came up.
It's important that attorneys general representing our respective states stand up and enforce the rule of law. The president of these United States is not above the law.
Oh, this first picture here. You see the gentleman behind her, by the way? You see him? Paying rapt attention. Found this to be very, very pertinent. Don't worry. We'll come back to this. We'll come back to it.
States, stand up and enforce the rule of law. The president of these United States is not above the law.
No matter how rich, powerful, or politically connected you are, everyone must play by the same rules.
Please sue him for us.
Oh, we're going to definitely sue him. We're going to be a real pain in the
And now the
fair use, Laura Ingraham, Fox News. By the way, fair use. Thank you for putting this report together, but fair use.
We're going to be a real pain in the
And now the Trump Justice Department may be a pain in her you-know-what. The Angle has obtained shocking allegations leveled by the Trump administration against New York Attorney General Letitia James. The Federal Housing Finance Agency has sent a criminal referral to the DOJ accusing James of mortgage fraud. In a letter to Attorney General Pam Bondi, Director Bill Pulte says James appears to have falsified records in order to meet certain lending requirements and receive favorable loan terms. He cited a property in Virginia that she's allegedly claimed as her principal residence and a property in New York that she claimed as a 4-unit structure instead of the required, instead of a 5, which Pulte says means she was able to get a different type and more favorable loan. Joining me now is Jonathan Turley, Fox News contributor.
So, folks, all of this sounds frighteningly familiar. We remember one Marilyn Mosby, former prosecuting attorney up there, state's attorney in Baltimore. And what brought her down? Funny business with a mortgage. Misstating things for mortgages. So this playbook has already been used. Not just by Republicans, by Democrats against your black attorneys. So, yeah, I know about pardons and things. Let's not get stuck on that. But this is what they're letting you know. They are letting you know that, by the way, if things go south, we got a place to put you. We got something for you. But, folks, the story actually goes deeper than this. And before tonight's program is over, you will have all the pertinent information and the research analysis that you'll receive absolutely nowhere else. I want Jonathan Turley here, Professor Jonathan Turley, to talk for just a few moments here, and then we're going to get to something a little bit different.
And law professor at GW University. Jonathan, mortgage fraud is rampant in the United States. There's all sorts of fraud that's rampant. There's disability fraud that they've vowed to crack down on in the Trump administration. But this is another thing that they have vowed to crack down on because it costs real money. Your reaction to these allegations?
Well, obviously, the irony is perfectly crushing. This is a person who prosecuted Trump for everything short of ripping a label off a mattress. And among the charges that were brought in New York, in not just the civil but the criminal case, was making false or misleading statements to financial institutions. And one of these sections, Section 1014 of the federal code, is prosecuted. It took me about 60 seconds of a search to find cases that the Department of Justice brought against people who falsely claimed that property was their principal residence.
Okay, so for those of you who weren't following or didn't understand from the beginning there's actually a number of different issues that they named here, but the one in particular they're zeroing in on is that she bought a property down in Virginia. Now, she's a New York resident. She bought a property in Virginia, and claimed that that was her principal residence. And by the way, we're talking about stuff that she's been doing in the last 2 years. What? Since she was prosecuting Trump, we're talking about stuff she was doing in the last 2 years. They're bringing up things that she's done in just the last couple of years. So she was not being, this is the kind of wackadoodle they put in there and whatnot. So she was doing that. So she claimed that Virginia as her principal residence on the loan paperwork so that she could get a lower mortgage. And then I want to say in New York, they had another one there. So she claimed different number of rooms. She said 4 instead of 5, because if it's got 5, it's considered a commercial property. And so that has to be taxed, and your financing has to be done differently. So if it has 4 rooms, if it's 4 units, then they say, oh, okay, well, that's going to be residential. If it's 5, that's automatically commercial. So this wasn't just one property that she was doing funny business with. And there are folks who say, oh, well, people do that in New York. Yeah, but they face penalties for that in New York. So if you're going to sit up here and say the attorney general gets to do stuff that everybody else doesn't do, okay, that's not going to go over well. Although you do have some folk, Democrats mostly, trying to say that it's so minor. Now it's so minor? Really? Well, if it's minor for her, it should be minor for everybody.
In order to get loans. So this is well-tread areas for the Justice Department. As for James, if we apply the Letitia James standard that she created, there'd be little question here. This seems pretty straightforward. What the administration is saying is this was not her principal residence. In fact, as a New York elected official, she had to say that her principal residence was in New York. This was an out-of-state residence. But also, they claim that in some of these forms, she actually states that her father is her husband in order to file as a married couple. So there's...
What? You heard that correctly. Now, I think this one goes back to the 80s. But I don't think it's just one document. On more than one document, yeah, on some Ilhan Omar stuff. They got the documents that show that she signed on there with her father indicating husband and wife. So I want to say this is going back to the 80s. So this is the documentation that she put together. Now, some folks are thinking that this is just how hardcore she was with the damn foolery. Was there some incest or wincest? I don't know. I guess you want to prove incest is wincest. But we don't know if that's the case. But we do know that if they filed as husband and wife, that would give them more favorable terms. So it seems like she was just going hog wild, just saying whatever. Anytime a mortgage comes up or whatever, she's willing to say anything to get more favorable terms, and just hoping that nobody ever reviews it and fact checks the paperwork. So one of these they're talking about, I think, goes back to the 80s. I want to say that one for the father one goes back to the 80s, but it shows you she's been doing this for a minute.
There's a lot of those questions. And out-of-state residence, but also they claim that in some of these forms, she actually states that her father is her husband in order to file as a married couple. So there's a lot of those questions. And as you know, the Supreme Court just stated earlier in March in a case called Thompson that they want to see knowing false statements under sections like 1014, not just misleading statements. These are misleading statements. Either it's your principal residence or it's not.
Or it's not.
Either you're married to your father or he's your father. So they can this can satisfy the Thompson standard.
Yeah, well, Jonathan, we reached out to the DOJ, and they have no comment on this referral. We also reached out to Attorney General James, who did not respond to us either. So, again, everyone wants the best interest rate you can get. I understand that. But, you know, she's a lawyer. She knows that when you sign a mortgage application, that mortgage application, if you're borrowing money, if you're not borrowing money, nobody cares whether it's your principal residence, except, you know, where you file your taxes. But she decided to state that that was her principal residence, knowing it was not her principal residence. I didn't even know she had property. I mean, I guess She had property in Virginia and she has rental or investment property in New York. That's fine. But in the New York matter, to get the favorable rate, the building could only have 4 units. But for, it looks like the entirety of this building, it had 5 units, meaning it was in violation of the actual loan agreement. And again, this is not a novel application of the law, Jonathan. As you stated during the persecution of Donald Trump, she was using all these novel applications of law to go after him. This isn't novel.
So just to make sure you're not all confused there's several different properties they're talking about, but there are 2 in particular that they're saying are violations of the law because of false statements on the paperwork. One is in Virginia, where she claimed that that's her principal residence. She was signing it with either a cousin or a niece or somebody, one of her relatives. It's not really clear, but somebody in her family. And she said that that was her principal residence, even though she's the damn Attorney General of the state of New York, although this may have been before Attorney General. But she claimed that that was her principal residence, even though she resides in New York. So that was one property. Then there's another one in New York. This one has 5 units, but she claimed that it only had 4 so that she wouldn't have to pay the commercial rate. She wanted to avoid paying the commercial rate, so she claimed it had 4s because those are regulated as residential. So we're talking about 2 properties in particular, and the one that she lied about in New York about it had 4 units when it really had 5, so she wouldn't have to pay the commercial rate. That's the one that Laura Ingraham was just referring to.
Not a novel application of the law, Jonathan. As you stated during the persecution of Donald Trump, she was using all these novel applications of law to go after him. This isn't novel. This is a black and white issue. You either did or you didn't.
Right, and this has been prosecuted in the past. Now, we have not heard her side of this, but these documents themselves are quite damning. It's hard to see how the residences listed were her principal residence. The business about her father is just bizarre. Now, I'll note that one of the things that Letitia James stressed in her case against Trump is that Trump had to review documents that were filed in his name. And so she dismissed the argument that this was something that Trump's people put together. She said he's ultimately responsible. So they allege that she gave a power of attorney in a couple of these instances, but according to her own standard, that's not enough.
Well, Professor, the referral cites the case against the former Baltimore City prosecutor, Marilyn Mosby, because she was sentenced to a year in home confinement for lying about her finances to make early withdrawals from retirement funds during COVID, and then fraudulently claimed that her own $5,000 was a gift from her then husband as she closed on a Florida condo. So the idea that again, this is just no one ever goes after politicians for these types of, which may seem like small amounts, and they add up.
Okay, well, let's talk about that a little bit differently here. Small amounts, they seemingly small amounts, small things. Let's be very, very clear to everybody in here. If you steal a $1 candy bar from Trader Joe's, you will get treated by the police the exact same way as if you stole $1,000 out of the cash register. You're gonna be arrested. You're gonna be put in handcuffs. You're gonna be booked. The police are not going to say, well, it was just a candy bar. If it's $1 candy bar or $1,000 television, I guess you have to go to Walmart for that one, but if you steal $1 candy bar or $1,000 television, when you walk out that front door of that store with either one of those, the way you'll be treated by the police will be the exact same. So scale of it is irrelevant. Just to give you all a brief reminder, for the rest of us, we don't get the scale thing. We get, you broke the law, get in the paddy wagon. So that's what you get.
They do, and this is really for James the very case that she most famously brought. She insisted that these technicalities matter and that the powerful should not be given a free pass. Well, that bill has come due in this case. She's going to have to deal with this filing. I'm honestly just not sure how you defend against this unless you say that these are fraudulent documents.
Jonathan, I have to raise this because the Democrats, when this really starts to blow up, which it should after the show, they're going to say, look, aha, see, this is a revenge presidency. They're weaponizing the DOJ against Democrats, so it's a tit for tat. Do you see that as a potential vulnerability here?
Well, we are certainly living in that age, but the fact is James herself rejected that argument made when she brought, in my view, a ludicrous case.
Notice the Democrats aren't actually saying much of anything at all in Letitia James' defense. What? Did you notice that? Oh, no, Laura. Quite the contrary. Y'all have noticed the Democrats aren't actually saying much of anything in her defense. Somebody in the chat room said same thing with Eric Adams. Yeah, the Democrats ain't really saying nothing. Because Big Tish James, not to be confused with LeBron James, Big Tish James, well, baby, you've served your purpose. You're useless. You have outlived your usefulness. White supremacy doesn't just break its tools, it annihilates them. So now that she is no longer useful, understand, people, the paperwork is always out there. If these folk came to you, you're the designated crash dummy. Your job, they knew you. When they brought you in, they knew they had the goods on you. That's why they chose you, because they're not going to elevate somebody who could turn on them later. They want to already know they got everything they need to take you down. Fannie the Mammy Willis, they had everything they needed to take her down, which is why they promoted her and boosted her. Marilyn Mosby, they had everything they needed to take her down. That's why they promoted her and boosted her. Eric Adams, they had everything they needed to take him down. That's why they promoted you and boosted you. And we can name a bunch of other mayors across the country. Remember a few years ago, if you were a black female mayor, your paperwork was coming up bad. Westchester and everything else, your paperwork coming up bad all over the damn place. Yeah, they chose you not because you were the best. We got the goods on you, so you can't get out of line. You cannot get out of line. Anytime we want to send an indictment on you, we can drop the hammer. Anytime. So that's what it is. And what do you know? The Democrats chose Big Tish James, and the damn paperwork is dirty as hell, going back years now. Going back years. Not months, years now. Y'all just let her sit there? Yeah, because they knew anytime we want to cut her off, anytime we want to shut you down, baby, you just one indictment away. But it goes further than that, folks, because there are similarities here between the case in Georgia with Fannie the Mammy and in New York. And I told you all that this would be the case also. Now, if you remember in Georgia, it wasn't Donald Trump's attorneys that uncovered Fannie Willis's affair with Nathan Wade. It wasn't her attorneys. It wasn't Donald Trump's attorneys that did that. It was one of the co-defendants. His attorneys uncovered that information. And that was what blew the case wide open and shut the case down for everybody. But if you remember, it was not anybody working directly for Donald Trump that did it. It was actually one of his co-defendants. His lawyers were able to find that information. Well, guess what? It's the same thing here. So while they're citing the letter from the DOJ to the FHA, while they're citing them, that's not actually who did it. And that's not actually who uncovered it. If you live in New York City, if you live in New York City in the past 5 decades, you're actually familiar with who it was who uncovered this. Ladies and gentlemen, from Newsmax, very, very much worth watching here. Wait till you find out who uncovered this.
New York Attorney General Letitia James' entire world is crashing.
Fair use, Newsmax, fair use.
Down around her as we speak. And it is something to see. On Tuesday, the Department of Justice received a criminal referral from the U.S. Federal Housing Finance Agency against Tish James. This allegation is one of the most ironic that we have ever heard. Tish James, who spent the last few years alleging Donald Trump's business was messing with asset valuations to get lower interest rates, has allegedly committed fraud to get lower interest rates. Also, an array of other likely crimes. Again, this is an unbelievable story tonight. It almost seems too good to be true, but the evidence looks to be rock solid. We're going to talk to the guy that dug it up here in just a couple of minutes, the man that found all of this. The media is now on the hunt for Tish James. She's being stalked. Cameras were outside of her home earlier today. Her piece is now over, and it's so well deserved. It appears New York's Attorney General has lied about her principal residency, lied about rental income, lied about the number of units in a townhouse she owns to gain a lower interest rate. Also indications she flew private on taxpayer dime for campaign events, and claimed that her dad was her husband for special benefits on a mortgage.
Now, folks, that means this information's been out there for years. They let you run and keep running until the day they finally come to cut you off. And it's looking like that day is here.
There are an array of allegations here, and they all seem very, very solid. Again, it's an amazing story. And knowing all of this, and she did know all of this because she's the one that did it, here is how she has sounded for the last couple years when she talks about Donald Trump.
Running for Attorney General because I will never be afraid to challenge this illegitimate president when our fundamental rights are at stake.
Oh, we're going to definitely sue him. We're going to be a real pain in the He's going to know my name personally.
Donald Trump may have authored the art of the deal, but he perfected the art of the steal.
And I'm not afraid of Donald Trump. You can come after me, but no enemy, nothing formed against me will perish.
I think it is no weapon formed against me will prosper. She should have read another chapter there because, not going good again.
Not afraid of no president. Donald Trump, we're ready for you. We're coming for you.
Somebody should have warned her, be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. There's another saying, be careful what you wish for. The devil might be listening. Donald Trump, come and get me. Most powerful man in the country, president of the United States, come and get me. And Donald Trump's like, game on. Say less. Say less. People, I've told you all for years, my attorneys have said, dude, if we ever hear you invite somebody to sue you, we're going to drop you as a client. Don't ever dare somebody to sue you, and you damn sure don't look at government entities and dare them to do something to you, because this is what happens. You're going to dare somebody, they're going to be like, oh, game on. I ain't got nothing but time. I got nothing but time and a house full of sycophants to go after you. So glad you asked. You don't ask people to sue you, and you don't ask government entities to do things to you. Y'all don't ever hear me tell y'all go dare the IRS to do something. Man, you either pay that damn thing or fight it, but don't get damn the IRS. Whoa, don't do all that. Don't do all that. Just do what you gonna do, but don't sit there in the middle of the street. I dare y'all to come at me. Who has ever seen that turn out well for the person who said it? I dare you police to come at me. What could possibly go wrong here? I dare the FBI. FBI, I dare you to do something to me. I'm like, let me put some distance between me and you. Because this can go badly just too easily. If you're going to do something, file your paperwork or whatever, but all this yakking, no, don't dare them. Now, I told you all that, don't y'all know Donald Trump is going to put his people through the government and look at every damn thing. And I'm not going to say this was necessarily unrelated how they found out, but wait till you see how they found out who it was who dug up the paperwork.
Trash. This is so good. It is so good. James' response to these allegations coming from her office was not good at all. Attorney General James is focused every single day on protecting New Yorkers, especially as this administration weaponizes the federal government against the rule of law and the Constitution. Yes, they actually wrote this today. She will not be intimidated by bullies, no matter who they are.
Notice she didn't say that the allegations were false. Did you notice that? Didn't say the allegations were false.
Read that a few times, laugh to yourself, because it is funny. And that was nowhere near any kind of a denial either. If you actually look at the statement, they don't deny a thing. That might tell you something. Tish James alleged the president and his business committed fraud by engaging in activities done by pretty much every single developer who's ever developed anything. Maximizing valuations when borrowing against assets to secure better interest rates from the bank. Trump's own bank, Deutsche Bank, which he allegedly defrauded, according to Tish James, even testified in his defense in the trial. There was no victim, and yet because we're in New York, which of course is absent an unbiased justice system politically anymore, Trump was mandated to pay nearly $400 million for this nonsense that this woman completely invented. And let's not even get into the E. Jean Carroll and all the other chaos he's been through in this city. Just ridiculous what he went through. Remember all that he went through before this last election. All the walls he had to break down. A completely invented crime this was, which, of course, Tish James sold as legitimate.
White-collar financial crime is not a victimless crime. When the well-connected break the law to take in more money that they are entitled to.
Was such a terrible actress, such a phony, such a fraud. And the best part of the story, well, this is probably the best part of the story, but a great part of the story was that she herself directly contributed to the president winning that last election in a landslide. Her and a few others, you know the names. The weaponization was so clear. It was so vivid to everybody. It was so obvious. Trump's base grew, leading to that landslide victory in November that most thought was absolutely impossible if you would have asked them in January of 2021. Nobody ever thought he could govern all of us.
Let me skip forward past some of his pandering here. Newsmax, you got to understand their lips stay around Trump's ass, so I'm not that deep off in it with you here, fellas. So kissing ass does get you points with Donald Trump. It just don't get you points with me. But we're going to show an outdoor demonstration here that should remind people, by the way, hey, Tish, don't look to us for no help. We busy, baby. We can't help you out because you were looking out for other folks.
People who win elections with rhetoric like this.
Stand up to an administration which is too male, too pale, and too stale.
Well, the only way this could get worse is if the two males, I assume they are biological males standing behind her, were forced to start chanting that. If the two white males behind her begin chanting and repeating what she just said. Fortunately, that's not going to happen. Fortunately, it won't happen, but this would just be hella awkward if it did. So let me go ahead and play it.
An administration which is too male, too pale, and too stale. Too male, too pale, and too stale. Too male, too pale, and too stale.
Oh, boy. Oh, that was hella awkward. Yeah, buddy, you got to sit there and sing along with that. That's hella awkward. Really, it is.
Too male, too pale, and too stale. This is how we're going to start choosing government now, based on how colorful and how not male it is. This is the kind of nonsense you have to listen to when you live here in New York. These are the people that lead our communities. How sad is that? All right, we have a great guest tonight. Sam Antar is a forensic accountant who has a very colorful past we'll dig into here in a bit. He is the man that dug all of this up on Letitia James. He's the source of all this information. Sam, thank you so much for joining us here on the set.
Thank you for having me on, sir.
You're a New Yorker. You live right down the street, and this is some fantastic work here. I want to start and get into just the specifics first, starting with this Virginia.
So, just a brief reminder, this is Sam Antar. Now, you don't know who Sam Antar is, especially if you're under the age of 40. But for those of us who are a little bit older, even in Louisiana, we had heard of his cousin's company in New York and up the East Coast, Crazy Eddie's. Eddie Antar. This is Eddie's cousin, Sam Antar. He was basically the chief financial officer of the company. Remember, Crazy Eddie eventually became this great big fraudulent economic scheme, went into the stocks and everything, and Eddie got arrested. He went on the run. He got arrested. Sam went to prison. Needless to say, those two are no longer on good terms at all. But for those of you from the 80s, from the 60s to the 80s, who remember Crazy Eddie's, that was Best Buy before you had Best Buy, and really they had better prices. But this was Best Buy before you had Best Buy, Fry's, and Circuit City. Before you had that, there was Crazy Eddie's. And even down here in Louisiana, we knew what Crazy Eddie's was. So they were all about, all kinds of electronics. That was their thing. Before Best Buy, before Circuit City and all that, that was Crazy Eddie's. So that was Eddie Antar, and this was his cousin who joined him at the business, Sam Antar, and he was the one in charge of cooking the books. It wasn't his idea to do it, but he was the person put in charge of how to get away with everything. And he's the one who went looking and uncovered the information on Letitia James' fraudulent mortgages. He's the one who went looking. Which, by the way, he's worked with the FBI and stuff since he got released from prison. What? He's worked with the FBI as a consultant, and he consults with people and stuff about financial white-collar crimes and fraud. Well, this is the guy who took it upon himself to go looking to see if there was any financial dirt that he could dig up on Letitia James. And boy, did he bring back the goods.
And, this is some fantastic work here. I want to start and get into just the specifics first, starting with this Virginia property.
Y'all, the hair. Oh, the hair on this fella here. All right, never mind.
Just the specifics first. Starting with this Virginia property that she claimed as her primary residence while she was, this is Norfolk, Virginia. This is probably a 5-6 hour drive, claiming it's her primary residence while she's the AG of New York. From your report, you say James signed a specific power of attorney declaring her intent to make 604 Sterling Street in Norfolk, Virginia, her principal residence, a legally binding statement that may have automatically vacated her position as New York Attorney General under Public Officers Law 30. A declaration that came just 45 days before she launched her case, her civil fraud case against Donald Trump.
Damn! Yeah. So in 2023, I believe it was, while she's prosecuting Trump, this is what she was doing at the same damn time? How psychotic do you have to be? At the same time that you're prosecuting Trump, you're off doing this? So in other words, up in New York, they just get so corrupt and so drunk on power that they just completely lose themselves. They just completely lose sight of everything.
Tell us more about what happened in Virginia here.
She purchased a property with a relative. This is in 2023, a few weeks. She closed
2 years
on,
ago, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
She closed on it right before the Trump trial. And in the file documents with the county clerk's office, there was a power of attorney that she gave her cousin or niece to close the mortgage.
Yep.
And on the power of attorney, she represented that I intend to use this property as my primary residence. Now, there's two problems with that. The first problem is she lied on the power of attorney. Would anybody really believe that she was going to move to Virginia in the middle of the Trump trial? Second part is there's Section 6 of the mortgage that states that the borrower, meaning her and her niece, have to occupy the property as their primary residence within 60 days. Not one or the other, both.
Wow.
She at least never occupied it. Right. That's
and what was the motivation to do this? Why lie?
Lower interest rates.
Lower interest rates.
Rules for thee, not for me. So in case you all needed a little bit of an explanation to clear that up for you there, she got together with her niece in Virginia to buy a property that she wanted in Virginia because, of course, New York's politicians have screwed up the economy and everything else up there so badly that their residents, including their corrupt politicians, can't get anything affordable unless they leave the whole damn state. You screwed up things so badly in New York as the politicians, nobody can afford anything, including yourselves, so you have to go to a different state to go actually have something you can own and live in. But never mind that reality. So, obviously what happened here, when you give somebody power of attorney, you're giving them the authority to sign documents in your name. So, apparently she didn't want to go to Virginia herself for whatever reason, but she gave her niece power of attorney to sign the documents and stuff in the house. And what she was signing up for is that both of them would be residents in the home. And that never happened. Furthermore, it was never going to happen. So that's the point that Sam Antar is making, is it didn't happen and that was never going to happen. So she had her niece sign paperwork for stuff that she was never going to actually do.
She at least never occupied it. Right. That's
and what was the motivation to do this? Why lie?
Lower interest rates.
Lower interest rates.
I'd call her a petty thief.
A petty thief. This is, I mean, this is, when you look at the allegations she made against Trump, is this act worse, better, same?
Well, no. Listen, Trump is not a real felon. I'm a real felon. Okay, so so Trump didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah. You don't see anything wrong in the case you made against Trump? You think, I mean, obviously the jury here thought that he did something wrong.
Well, listen,
it seems like what every developer has ever done.
You should have listened to the appellate arguments, because the appellate judges seem to be. It seems like they're going to write an opinion that's going to vacate the entire case.
Yeah. Boom. Okay. Yeah. It's because, I mean, it obviously was. We were all astounded by what they charged him for. That penalty was ridiculous. I want to move on here. Let's talk about Brooklyn, New York. This is her actual main residence. She walked out of this house this morning, a townhouse she owns. It's a multifamily home. You discovered James has been claiming that her townhouse is a 4-unit dwelling when it actually has 5 units. Why would she do this?
To obtain lower mortgage rates. Again,
same motivation.
If 1 to 4 units has different underwriting guidelines, and also insurance too, by the way, insurance fraud. Whereas if it's 5 or more units, it's considered a commercial property and also subject to different insurance guidelines.
Right.
She repeatedly lied because there's a certificate of occupancy that states that it's 5 units. And in New York, that rules. And it's unbelievable that that complaints were filed with the Department of Buildings, and they wrote it off as a minor problem, minor error.
Well, so what is that Sam Antar is saying? That people have already complained about this and brought it to the attention of New York, and New York has chosen to ignore it? For those of you wondering, how is it the scumbag politicians up there can afford to live? How is it that you can't afford to live and you following the law and following the rules? And how is it the scumbag politicians can? Because they're not. They're not following the rules. They're not following the law. They put those in place for you. And meanwhile, they are completely ignoring and disregarding them. She's just outright lying about it. And then got other folks in the scumbag political mafia talking about, oh, well, that's not a big issue there. So he's letting you know, by the way, people have filed complaints already. And basically, they were just ignoring it.
5 units. And in New York, that rules. And it's unbelievable that that complaints were filed with the Department of Buildings, and they wrote it off as a minor problem, minor error. Where every other landlord in New York, if you pull that stunt, illegal conversion, having a building that's different from the certificate of occupancy, they will fine you. They will make you alter the building.
She's flat out lying on these documents. She didn't deny anything about it. 1983, she takes out a $30,000 loan with her dad. She files it as a husband and wife. She's married to a father. Why?
First of all, that was discovered by Joel Gilbert, not me. I don't want to take credit for anybody's work.
Okay.
All right, that was 1983. What he found.
So that was discovered by Joel Gilbert. So Sam Antar is far from the only person who's been digging through the crates, digging through the records. I told you all then, if you think these folk gonna let that go, baby, you in the crosshairs. They are never gonna let this go if there is anything out there. Anything, they gonna find it. And this is the stuff that they can find from publicly available records. This is the stuff they found publicly available. How much stuff is Kash Patel and Pam Bondi and the rest of the people who have police state powers finding? Now, this is just what they found legally. This is what they found openly. How much stuff that requires intelligence and reconnaissance and eavesdropping, how much are they able to find? Stay tuned, sports fans. I have a feeling you're going to find out.
Was that she bought the house as daughter and mother. They will fine you. They will.
Lying on these documents. She didn't deny anything about it. 1983, she takes out a $30,000 loan with her dad. She files it as a husband and wife. She's married to a father. Why?
First of all, that was discovered by Joel Gilbert, not me. I don't want to take credit for anybody's work.
Okay.
All right, that was 1983. What he found was that she bought the house as daughter and mother, father and daughter, and then she when they did the mortgage, it was husband and wife.
As husband and wife.
Also, you get different underwriting as husband and wife than as you buy it as partners or two family members.
We have
and now this is different from the Brooklyn home. This is a different property. I think it was in Queens.
In Queens, yeah. It was a long time ago. This is 41 years ago, 42 years ago. We have allegations of flying private on taxpayer money, almost $42,000 to places like Martha's Vineyard, Puerto Rico. We have luxury hotels with mischaracterized on official filings. What can you tell us here?
Let's break it down. Between 2021 and 2022, she used private jets to get around, spent $42,000 of taxpayer money. The vendor she spent the money on was called Venture Jets. No other government agency, because the information is out there, back to 2014 ever used Venture Jets or for private jet travel, period.
Yeah.
Then in 2022, when the government stops paying for it, her campaign starts paying for it. Now, let's go back to this stuff that the taxpayers paid for. If you align the payments for the for Venture Jets and those trips, because you don't pay jet travel net 30 days, you pay it COD, cash on delivery.
Yeah.
Okay. Some of those trips align with major campaign events that she was attending. That's a problem.
That's a big. She has a lot of problems here.
Right.
It's unbelievable reporting. We've dug through. I think the bulk of of what you have found. I believe. Real quick before I let you go, you have a past.
Yes.
And tell us how you got so good at what you just did with what you worked on this for 7 months. How'd you get so good at this?
Because I was a criminal for 20 years, and I was very good at doing what I did as a criminal. Morality aside, the FBI saw a talent in me, and they helped me out going forward after the Crazy Eddie case. The FBI taught me things. When I was being investigated, the FBI taught me how investigations are done. All of the beatings that the FBI gave me when I was doing crime made me into a better human being.
That's amazing.
So, yes, sir, for those of you who may have heard about it through me, and about Tish James now being under scrutiny and considered for indictment for mortgage fraud. I mean, we're talking about multiple instances of it now. This is the guy primarily who uncovered it. as he just told you, he's been working with the FBI since he got let out of prison. So he's got a direct pipeline. Most likely he just called them, or they called him after the election. And he was like, I'll tell you what I find. So either he called them and said, hey, I found something, or they called him and he said, I'll get back with you. I'll get back with you. So, folks, did I call it or did I call it? I said it the whole time. I told, when everybody told me, oh, bygones be bygones, me ass. I told you all from the beginning. Elon Musk and all these millionaires, there's no way on this side of Southwest hell that they're all going to be able to coexist. Somebody going to go. Vivek Ramaswamy was the weakest man on the totem pole. He was first out of here. I told you that Letitia James and all the rest of them, when Trump gets back and has the controls of power, he's going to put his damn FBI and DOJ to work. Every government agency, they're going to look over your bank accounts and every damn thing else. I'm like, everybody who done did anything, you took your shot at the king and you missed. Oh, no, no, no. As Emerson said, when you strike at a king, you must kill him. They took their best shot and they missed. Trump is like, my turn. And I said it then. I said, they gonna go over everything. Everything. By the way, I just thought about it here. Oh, hell, does that even get worse? If the mortgage documents are fraudulent, then does that make her tax returns illegitimate also? I don't know. I guess somebody gonna take a look into it. They clearly already are. So yeah, by the way, if your mortgage documents were fraudulent, I wonder if this reflects on everything else. And how much of this can we domino and line up for it? And you know what the real devastating part of this is? The real devastating part is right here. What you see right here on your screen. This is the silly part of it. Tish James, Big Tish was telling herself, let me make sure I got a little boy right there. I want to make sure I freeze that right where it belongs here in that beautiful bean village.
States.
They were letting you know right there.
Our respective.
Yeah, buddy. He's like, all right, whatever. I bring this up to say, remember after Tish James went after Governor Andrew Cuomo? I told y'all, this big Sasquatch thought that she was going to gangster her way to Albany. That she was going to gangster her way to the governor's office. That she was going to knock off Governor Cuomo, and then everybody was going to get behind her. And remember what constituency she ran to first and only. Remember? She ran to Asians and LGBT, remember? Oh, this is why you must have the new black media. You must have it. It's not optional, it's obligatory. Look it up. It's not optional, it's a necessity. So I'm back to bring you not the receipts, but the invoices. I'm here to tell you not what you paid, but to tell you what you owe. And Big Tish James, baby, we remember you. How could we miss you? Why, you were looking for everybody else. You were looking out for everybody else. That's who you were looking out for. And first and foremost, she was like, I'm down with the Asians. We got to look out for them. Black folk? What black folk? Ain't no black folk. It's all about Asians now. So I'm like, Letitia, I'm so glad you did that. Because you see, you ignored the case of Eric Garner. You told us, kiss your ass, ain't nothing you gonna do about it, and that's it. And I'm like, baby, okay, keep that energy. We ain't gonna stomp for somebody who ain't never stomped for us. Don't expect us to come out protesting or any damn thing for anybody. You can go sit there with Al Sharpton all you damn well want to. Al clapped for about 3 seconds and said, okay, good thing I ain't an indictment. Deuces, baby. And ain't nobody circling the wagons for you. Is there Andrew Cuomo is running for governor, running for mayor in New York City right now. Do you think Andrew Cuomo is circling the wagons for Big Tish? Or do you think he's behind the scenes making sure if it can go bad, it will go bad? Nah, Tish, you got to call somebody else. Don't call us. Don't call none of us. We ain't got nothing for you. Nothing for you at all. We're not your buddies. We're not your friends. We're not your pals. Call all them other folk and let's see if they show up for you. Let's see if any of the other folk that you've been talking about all this damn time, let's see if they show up for you. Because you need them now. Oh, she needs them now, doesn't she? She needs all the damn help she can get because she remembers the case of Marilyn Mosby. Big Tish remembers the case of Marilyn Mosby. And they're not going after you in the safe confines of New York State Court. Nah, they gonna just kick this on up to the feds, where they got home court advantage. They just gonna kick it up to the feds. On account of the fact that you're an attorney general? No, the feds gonna have to roll with this. Yeah, buddy. Baby, you better call all the folks that you were stomping for previously. You go call them. Don't ring my damn phone. Don't ring my phone. Don't ring my bell. Don't ask for anything. Don't ask for nothing. You ain't gonna get it. Not gonna get it. She doesn't have any friends. She doesn't have any black support. Big ass wake up call coming for a lot of dumb niggas out there. These ain't niggas. I so did.
And deal with it, nigga.
Whole bunch of dumb niggas getting a wake up call across the board. This is the era we in now. This is the era that we're in now. You see, Candace Owens, when the ass was in the crack, thought she was going to segue and get some black support. I said, nah, baby, back on up. She's sitting there in a damn debate with a Jewish rabbi, and he said to her face, black people don't even mess with you. So he was like, oh, I can do you however I want to do you. You ain't got no backup. Ain't that a damn shame when a Jewish rabbi can sit there and look in your damn face and tell you, black folk ain't coming to help you? Oh, no, baby, it's just you and me. Well, actually, it's just you against me and my people, because black folk ain't going to rep for you. They're not going to lift a finger for you, so you can't yell racism or nothing, because black folk don't rock for you. I got you where I want you. I'm going to do you how I'm going to do you. I'm going to do you how I'm going to do you, because I know you ain't got no backup. You got none. So you can't make me back down because I know there are no black people coming to help you. My Jewish people coming to help me. Ain't no black folk coming to help you. So he was able to call her out and call her bluff and call her down. Let you know, baby, you ain't got no people. You don't have any. Jason Whitlock. Damn. Oh, yeah. I don't even know if it's worth me reviewing, but y'all already know. Y'all already know. Ain't that a damn shame when you get called out publicly like that? Damn it. Ain't that something? Yeah, you set your ass up. I told y'all when Jason Whitlock talking about, Jason Whitlock, I always knew people know Jason Whitlock love white women. Okay. I said, they love you? Yeah, old Jason, he didn't think it was going to happen. I'm like, I'll be damned. Got clowned. Well, they tell you, folks, if you ain't got no people, Dr. Claude Anderson taught us race is a team sport. Ain't no freestyling. Ain't no freestyling. You're delusional telling yourself that you're going to freestyle. You're going to be by yourself. Race don't matter. Then you get a white supremacist jump up in front of you, and next thing you know, done straight clown you. And they have no problem looking you in your face and telling you, hey, bruh, I'm watching these internet streets. You ain't got no people. You ain't got no people. Yeah, I can be Nick Fuentes, I can be white supremacist, and you ain't got no people. Now, isn't that a damn shame when you sitting there in front of the white supremacist, and I mean, he knows he can just say whatever he want to, because you've made so many adversaries and you're so cut off. It's like, yeah, dude, nobody rock with you. Nobody rocks with you. You're on your own. You're on your own. That's a hell of a place to be in. When your back's against the wall and you're getting beat down and whatnot, and it's just you by your damn self, hell, and the white supremacists can look you in your face and say, ain't nobody coming to help you. I can do this right in front of folk who look like you. Ain't nobody gonna lift a finger. That's it, you done burned all your bridges. And I know it. What kind of spot is that for you to be in? You're in the jaws of the beast, and he's telling you, dude, ain't nobody coming for you. They done disowned you. I already know the deal. Ain't nobody coming for you. Don't you know that Letitia James right now is making phone calls? People, she just saw what happened to Eric Adams. Trump is in office right now. You got to go through the 4-year gauntlet. And what he's going after you for does not require control of Congress. Baby, you're going to have to dodge the gauntlet for 4 years. You know you ain't going to make it. You know you're not going to make it. You know it's not going to happen. And you know it. They're going to make the case. They're going to stack the deck. Don't you know she's making phone calls right now? Do y'all see this fella in the back here with the sunglasses? He is just so unbothered. He is so unbothered and so unconcerned. Everybody around her don't give a damn. They're like, look here, this big awkward heifer here, she's outlived her usefulness. Don't you know she's making phone calls left and right now? She's making phone calls left and right. She's trying to rally support. She's trying to remind all these people that she's been stomping for and being the crash dummy for. She's trying to remind all of them that she was a good soldier. Don't y'all know that? She's calling up Kathy Hochul and the rest of the Democrat Party power meisters and power brokers and letting them know that she was a good soldier. That they need to remember her, and you got to do something. I was a good soldier. And she's starting to get the idea that they're telling her, you know, and sometimes good soldiers are required to fall on their swords. Sometimes good soldiers are required to fall on their swords. Sometimes they got to do that. And she's like, no, not me. Now, you know where things get bad, don't you? Things don't get bad when you call these other people looking for help. Things aren't bad when you call other folks looking for help. Things are bad when you call other folks for help and ain't across the board, ain't nobody answering the phone. Damn! You making phone call after phone call. 2 weeks ago, everybody was quick to answer, quick to text back, quick to respond. Hey, Tish, how you doing, baby? Hey, Attorney General, glad to hear from you. Now you calling them and please leave a message after the tone. You're sending text messages. Folks ain't responding for 2 hours or 2 days. All of a sudden, that's when you know things done got bad. That's when you know it's gotten bad, when you calling for help and 2 weeks ago you had no problem getting a hold of anybody. Today you can't get a hold of nothing. Same folk are not answering the phone, not returning your calls. If they do, they keep it short. She needs folk to stand up for her publicly. She needs the party to rally around her publicly. They're rallying around that El Salvadoran illegal alien. You see them stomping for him. Where the Democrats stomping for her? They're like, oh, baby, we got to go to El Salvador. She's like, hey, can you come do a press photo out with me when you get back? I'll see if I can fit you in, baby. Nobody is trying to figure out how to be next to her right now. And I'm showing y'all, show me where anybody is standing up for her. Where are the Democrat leaders and power brokers to say this is a political witch hunt and there's no legitimacy and he's only targeting Tish James because she's a great prosecutor and great attorney? Where are them folks at, people? Where they at? Oh, she needs a lifeline. She needs a lifeline right now. Please understand that. Because I'm letting you know, if she has been this flagrant and this blatant for this long, it's practically guaranteed there's more out there. This is not the end. If she been this reckless and this blatant for this long, there's more. There's more. And they gonna find that too. Because you know how this goes. Because the other element is if they can't find it, they're gonna get somebody to roll on her. See if they can get somebody to roll on her, and I think I know what they gonna do. Let's see if I am correct. I wonder if there's anybody who has contacted her niece down in Virginia. Damn! Oh, folks, do you see how this gonna go? Oh, you're not looking at it the right way if you haven't considered all the possibilities and covered all your corners. Has anybody contacted her niece? Can you imagine attorneys from the Department of Justice contacting you in Virginia? You're not an attorney general. You're not a lawyer. You're not papered up. They're letting you know, hey, by the way, them fraudulent documents that you signed with your auntie, yeah, baby, you committed a crime too. So your auntie might be trying to get herself off, but you and them kids gonna need more in the house here in a minute. Don't y'all understand that's how it go? Yeah, folks, in the chat room, folks are like, I'll be damned. Oh boy, that would be rough. That would be rough. Oh, you know what would be really crazy? Oh, people, what would be really crazy? If we look up and Letitia James' niece coming out the damn police station with a Chick-fil-A sandwich and a Pepsi. Damn! What? Auntie, chill! Oh, man. Oh, you know it went bad. You know it went bad for Tish if we get footage of that, if we get a photograph of that. Oh, if your niece come out the police station with a Five Guys double cheeseburger with bacon and a Pepsi, if she come trotting out with one of them, Tish, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. She done told them everything they need to know. She done told them everything. Y'all remember here a few weeks ago when I did my program, I told you, oh, it's going to be real messed up when Fannie Willis and Tisha James go to prison. Because old big Tish James, you know, it's like, oh, she going to be a stud up in there. So she might do pretty good, but I'm like, she going to slim down. That's for damn certain. She going to slim down. That's for damn certain. She going to come around the corner like damn me Debo. Yes, sir. But if we see her niece come skipping out the damn police station with a double Whopper with cheese and some fries and some nuggets and a Mountain Dew, and the film crew for the first 48 is driving their van off from the back of the police station. Damn! Yeah, if she walk out the front and the first 48 people are driving off from the back, I got a feeling it went good for her and bad for Tish. Yeah, Tish, you might want to, I don't even know if you can make a plea, baby. I don't even know if you can make a plea bargain. For you, anybody else in America might be able to plea bargain with Trump's DOJ right now. You, I wouldn't want to have to do that one. Oh, I wouldn't want to have to do that one. I'm just saying, because obviously she come from a shady ass family that just do everything. Do you think her niece is not gonna crack after 72 hours in the cell? Is there anybody here who thinks her niece is not gonna crack after 72 hours in the cell? And by the way, it goes even deeper. Where is her father? Folks, you know how this go. She's not the only one on the documents. After what she did, do y'all think for a moment that if her daddy's still out there, Trump ain't gonna come drag him in the federal court too? I mean, whole damn family on the docket. After what she tried, do you think Trump got a damn problem? He gonna get a daddy in the damn wheelchair with the oxygen tank and come wheel his ass on up in there personally? I don't know where her father is. I don't know if he's still alive, but if he is, I'm like, oh, dude, there's a subpoena for you coming. So daddy gonna be up in there. Daughter, niece gonna be up in there. Anybody else on any other documents gonna be up in there? Oh, man. It's gonna get rough. Please understand that. And that's just for the stuff they found so far, man. That's for the stuff they found so far. Tish needs some help. Tish needs some help, people, but unfortunately help is not coming, not only because Big Tish James is undesirable, but also because they've created a culture where they look out for everybody except the folks who need to be looked out for. They look out for everyone except that. They look out for everyone except that. And that brings me to my next clip here. This is a short on YouTube from CNN. This is a follow-up from last week's program when I talked about black lawyers are the problem. Check this out.
It's too early for this, y'all.
Okay, that went the wrong direction there. Okay, starting that one crashed it. All right, let's see if we can get that restarted. All right, let me check and make sure you all are back here. Firefox crashed on that one. Let's see if we can try it again.
It's too early for this, y'all. What's going on?
This is the moment lawyer James Rivera and a paralegal rushed to the home of their client, a 19-year-old green card applicant in Sterling, Virginia. The woman who arrived in America as an unaccompanied minor years prior was not home, according to her lawyer.
All right, what's going on?
Someone in the house called Rivera when 5 officials showed up unexpectedly on the doorstep.
On the scene, I said, I've never had this happen, ever, ever, ever. They don't go to homes to do welfare checks.
Who do y'all represent? I'm the family lawyer here.
Okay, guess my name, Peter.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah.
Okay, who do you represent?
HSI.
I think that's the strategy. I don't have a uniform on. You don't see ICE or HSI. I'm just here to check on you. I'm your friend.
Okay. You want to know what's happening. You want to know how it's going down. You want to know what's going on. You want to know? I mean, this nigga making house calls. You want to know what's happening out there? So how people identify, unfortunately, has become a sticking point because we couldn't help but notice things like this. Couldn't help but notice things like this. So how people identify, that matters. Because unfortunately, this is where we've ended up at. That, by the way, for illegals, they can figure out how to make house calls. And meanwhile, the police are just doing what they do, and the white supremacists are rampaging. And God help you if you need any type of assistance whatsoever. And everybody, they sitting up here driving to the house in person and making house calls. Really? So that's where we at. So this is what it means to be them. Okay, that's fine by me. Keep that energy, Big Tish. Hey, baby. Call the Asians. When you wanted to run for office, for governor, you stepped over black folk and said it's all about Asians. And I'm just like, hey, you know what? Okay, let's leave it there. No. No jumping around. No jumping around. No hopping around. We just gonna leave it there. We're just gonna leave it there. And from here on in, if you need anything else, Tish, we understand we can't call you. And if you need anything else, damn sure don't call us. Don't call us for a damn thing. Although right now, I imagine you're rather disturbed by that deafening silence that you're hearing. You can get Al Sharpton's folk to clap, but that's not going to stop Trump's Justice Department. You're not going to have thousands of folk taken to the streets, and you're not going to be able to blackety black it up now. Hell, this heifer couldn't even recite the scriptures properly. She tried to recite the scriptures and no weapon cooked against me will fry. No weapon will make it through the week. You want to talk about somebody who has obviously don't go to church like that? No weapon formed against me shall prosper. She's sitting there from the river now and them. I mean, screwed up the whole damn thing. No weapon formed against me will broil. Okay, baby, you can only fake it for so long. You might have a good little run, but you're only gonna fake it for so long. And when it gets done, it's over. That's a wrap. And the folk who were egging you on and beefing you up before, they gonna forget you exist. Because that's the only way it can be. Because that's the way that it is. Ain't never gonna be no different. You need help right now, baby. You need backup and logistical support, and you can't get it. And this just gonna be what it's gonna be. Now, folks, please remember something here. Please remember something. Jason Black didn't tell you it might happen. I told you when Trump gets in that White House, job number one is going to be getting up the dirt on his enemies and getting right after them. I said that from the very moment that it was clear what was happening and what the outcome was going to be. I said it then. If you're listening to the old dead black media, if you're listening to the Democrat shill networks, any shill YouTube channels, ass-kissing puppet channels, they ain't saying none of that. I don't care if you agree with Trump or disagree with him, and I certainly don't agree, but I don't care if you agree or disagree. Shouldn't you have people who can properly analyze these circumstances and accurately predict to you what's going to happen? What this really tells you is that the old dead black media was sitting up here telling themselves that Tish James, a B.I., she a lawyer. What they gonna do? She's a lawyer. And I'm like, so you're just totally dismissing all the other black lawyers they done locked up. You're just totally dismissing Marilyn Mosby. So you clowns are just that damn smooth-brained that you've completely disregarded that. And the short answer is yes. So they are as clueless as she is. It's an echo chamber of the idiotic. Anybody raising money for Tish James, I'll be damned. Tell her go sell that damn townhouse.
And deal with it, nigga.
That's what she can do. She didn't do a damn thing for Eric Garner or any other black folk killed up there in New York. No, you tell that big, broady, frisbee-built heifer, go sell that townhouse. Go sell that townhouse you finessed your way up into. Go do that. I'm sure it's got a little equity in it. Go do that. That's what you do. Because you got it all figured out. Okay, well, go do that then. That'll work. Please understand that right now she is nervous as hell. She's hoping for backup. That's why she went to Al Sharpton and them. She's seeing that she can rally the troops. Baby, look here. Let me explain to y'all how it works, people. It's like the old Rick James song with the Temptations, standing at the top. When you're on the top, there's no place you can really go but down. She don't want to believe it. She didn't want to believe it. It's like, ma'am, this is what happens. When your ass is in a bind, folks scatter. She doesn't have solid people around her. She doesn't have any riders around her. You take a look at this picture here on your screen. Do those look like riders? You will never see any of those people standing behind her again. She needs stomp down, 10 toes down riders with her right now. Ain't got nothing. Nothing. And by the way, this is good. What? People, I've been telling you forever, and I will remain consistent. You damn right. This is good. You see, Tish James, if we tell you that there will be consequences for your actions, it is not a credible deterrent unless there actually are. We told you what our response would be if you did not toe the line and do what you're supposed to do. I bought billboards in New York and they wouldn't let me make, that was the one billboard they wouldn't allow me to make. And now it's all clear to me. It's clear to me now why it is that I was able to take out billboards going at Andrew Cuomo. I was able to take out billboards going at everybody except Letitia James. Well, yeah, because she was the top lawyer in the state. So some folks understood something that she obviously didn't with the president. They were like, we don't know if we don't mess with the top lawyer in the state. Don't know if we really want to do that one. Hey, Jason, find somebody else. Find somebody else to go at. So she spent the longest time sitting up here riding high and ignoring the issues, and Robert Brooks don't know what to do, and Eric Garner, who is that? And every time we turn around, she can't do nothing and can't find them. Baby, we can't do nothing for you now. We can't do a damn thing for you now. Nothing. Not gonna move a muscle. The time for you to get us to do that was way before now. In the chat room, Jordan Neely. What? Yeah, the time for you to do this was way before now. Way before now. In the chat room, Curtis M. I'm so glad Curtis M. asked that question. Curtis, I'm so glad you decided to step up like Malik Yoba. So glad you decided to do that, Curtis. Oh, I'm so glad you decided to do that. And I think that you deserve an answer. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and take a very brief commercial, non-commercial break. And when we come back, Curtis, we're going to go ahead and get you on Zoom, and then we're going to answer your question. Since clearly you are not attempting to troll, I mean, you would never do something like that. So we're going to go ahead and get you up on Zoom, Curtis. Since you're asking questions, I will be more than happy to entertain it and to answer it. So glad you did that. And there's the link in the chat room. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get this up and going for you. All right, and there it is. There it is. So Curtis, we will be speaking to you shortly. Very glad to have that. Curtis will be speaking to you shortly. In the meantime here, I want to thank everyone and everybody who's contributed toward tonight's program on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo. Shout out here to Miss Nancy King. Her paperwork, dirty as hell. B1, thank you very much for your support. We appreciate that. Sister Tamagus, thank you very much for your support here as well. Bossa Nova Ross, thank you very much. My man, Mr. Richberg, Andrew L., and Karen. I appreciate that also.
I told you all that I was the greatest of all time. I told you today I'm still the greatest of all time.
Thank you very much for your support, Karen. I appreciate that. Also, Najee. We're going to take a brief commercial, non-commercial break. When we come back here, Curtis, very glad that you will be joining us. This is the Black Channel.
When you visit MrBeTheTeacher.com, you can get a copy of his award-winning book, Guidelines for the Successful Student. While you're there, grab one of his newest tunes along with fun and educational lyric videos.
Never give up, don't worry, never give up, study. In order to
1 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 3 is 6. Now swap names, he, she, they, and we. Simplify the satanic divide as the following guide. Money multiplies and shares of what they buy.
You can also acquire his tutoring services via varsitytutors.com or tutor.com. If you wish to speak to Steve Burgess directly, you can do so through MrBeTheTeacher.com.
The Honey Badger and the Mongoose is a children's story for the family of how a honey badger and mongoose fight an evil alliance of venomous cobra snakes and hyenas that overhauls the balance of the savannah. The Big Five. The honey badger demands reparations. Will the Big Five give the honey badger reparations? Can the evil alliance of cobras and hyenas be stopped? The best new price for the hard and soft cover is at www.thehoneyBadgerandthemongoose.com. You can also find this book at Amazon, Audible, and Kindle.
Order yours today to experience all the benefits of Ash Kickin' Body Butter. With skin so smooth and soft, you'll thank us for it. Shop Ash Kickin' online. That's ASHKICKIN.com.
Hi, this is Brenda Starr, creator of Poetry with a Purpose and author of the book Pressed But Not Crushed. Pressed But Not Crushed is an anthology of political poems that address current and historical issues in American descendants of slave population and African American population. The book describes slaveries and its residuals, Jim Crow segregation, social depredation, and other relevant issues to American descendants of slaves and African Americans, including the current political climate that does not address our issues.
This is the Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. Very glad to be with you all here this evening. As we are discussing Letitia James at Trump's mercy, the black politicians with no black support. Oh man, they got put in the trick bag. They thought that their white handlers had their backs. They did, to shove the knife in it. They thought they were going to find some alternative support to replace us. Didn't come through. Oh, they thought they were going to put together an alternative structure, an alternative apparatus that was going to make us obsolete, make us superfluous. They were going to replace us with a minority coalition and you'd be head niggers. They actually gassed her big balloon head ass up to believe that. But when her ass is in the crack, she didn't go to the Asians, she went to black folk. What? Now, when she wanted votes, she went to Asians. But when she wanted help, she came to black folk. Now that's the thing right there that's inexcusable for me. When she wanted help, she ran to Asians, but when she wanted political support, she ran to Asians. When she wanted to talk about who she was going to work for and who she was going to do it for, she went to them. She went to them. And I'm like, you know what? Okay, that's fine. That's legit. But I got to require now and demand that you keep that energy over there. So if you knew how to call them when you wanted to do something for somebody politically, they were your political priority. If you need anything else, call them. Call them. I need y'all to understand something here. Do you all understand that these evil, wicked individuals and people who run these political parties, they grab some of the biggest psychos, whack jobs, mentally and emotionally ill head cases and basket cases you can imagine? I need y'all to understand, I'm not being mean-spirited nor sarcastic. I mean that literally. Literally. They go and grab a bunch of whacked out ass head cases and say, here, you can be attorney general. Here, you can be mayor. Here, you can be assembly person. This is literally what they do. Literally, people who you can just take a look at them and see. I'm like, damn, can you at least keep the substance abuse issues contained a little bit? These are the folks that they grab and recruit to do this stuff because these are they crash out dummies. Not the best and brightest. The dumbest and densest. And then when they want to toss them overboard, it's just a big ass mess. Ain't nothing even nice to remember. When you take a look at Letitia James, it's just like, wow, y'all couldn't get nobody better than this? Y'all couldn't grab nobody better than this? This is the best you could do? Well, I mean, she was the most controllable sock puppet available. She was the one they had the dirt and the goods on. Please understand, in American politics today, if you are clean or self-sufficient, the structure don't really want you. You see, somebody that got dirt on, you can be controlled. They make a phone call and you understand that they put you there and they can take you out. So if you've built yourself and if you are independent, either financially or politically or hopefully both, well, that's a problem. Can't nobody make a phone call and tell you what's going to happen and get you to dance to the tune. That's problematic. See, when you got billion-dollar interests and whatnot, they need to be able to make a phone call and have their way. They need to make a phone call and have things disappear. They need to be able to make a phone call and get cases dropped. They need to be able to make a phone call and get investigations to stop. They need to be able to make a phone call and get people to dummy up and get quiet. They need to be able to make a phone call and get somebody indicted. See, that's what they need to have happen. but they need somebody who is controllable because they can't take no for an answer. No cannot be the answer. The game got to be rigged before they even start. So no simply can't be the answer. And this is how you end up with folks like this. Then you find out later, everybody they keep presenting us with now, they fresh from the freak off, fresh from Epstein Island, fresh off a bottle of Hennessy. This is who they present to us now. Kamala Harris was just hosting a fundraiser for the DNC. What? Did I call that one or did I call that one? Kamala Harris is hosting a fundraiser for the DNC. I think they have it $25,000 each. Oh, she's swinging for the fences. I don't know how much they took in. We'll see. We'll see. But by the way, Kamala Harris want to headline a fundraiser for the DNC. Okay, she thinks she's going to make that little run in California. She thinks she's going to do that. Problem for Kamala, baby. The black support ain't there for you neither. It's not there for you neither. Call Doug. Call Doug, Kamala. Call Doug. Call Doug. See if Doug can help you. Don't march your happy ass over here. Call Doug and see if he got something for you. See, those are the folks that they've stacked up and piled up there. And back during the days of the old corporate corrupt media, nobody even said the things I'm talking about. It's a hell of a situation now that we can have open conversations with thousands and thousands of people and we can bypass all the filters and we don't have some media black bootlick sitting up here telling us only the parts they want to talk about. No, we get to speak about exactly what we're talking about right here. Well, that's very damning because you see, they don't need to have thousands of people, and I have a large New York following. They don't need to have thousands of people talking about, yeah, let old Tish hang. We ain't got nothing for her. We're going to leave you hanging. We have nothing for you. That's not the way the conversation's supposed to go. There are not supposed to be thousands of receptive ears hearing that. This is bad for business. They need to be able to snap their fingers and everybody fall in line, or at least enough people do it. There's not supposed to be this counter conversation going on that is diminishing the number of people who will respond affirmatively. That they can't have headwinds like that. They just need everybody to fall in line. They can't sit here and spend months and months trying to cobble people together. The opposition gonna move too fast. So they need everyone to snap to attention and fall in line immediately. If they got to drag y'all in, it's going to make this too difficult. And I submit to you the fact that, by the way, you haven't seen anybody of any significance in the Democratic Party coming to Letitia James' defense. You haven't seen anybody say nothing. Has anyone asked where they are? Is anyone the least bit concerned to find out, by the way, did you think about that? They can't afford to have these kind of conversations going on where we're sitting up here saying, you know what? Yeah, we're cool with that. We're cool on that. We don't really see that we have any reason to sit up here and come to your defense for nothing. No, we don't. Let me remind you of something else, people. Where's Governor Hochul? Damn! By the way, folks, if you go take a look into this, I'm just saying that there are folks out there, they are ominously quiet. All the other folks there in New York, all the other New York politicians, did you notice they are ominously, disturbingly quiet. Nobody's taken to a podium. Nobody's given a speech. No one's rallying the troops. Kathy Hochul is dead ass quiet. And pretty soon, Letitia James is going to start getting that same feeling that Eric Adams got. Pretty soon, Tisha James is going to start getting the same ominous feeling that Eric Adams received. That feeling when everybody kind of scatters from you and you ask folk to stand up for you and everybody got quiet all of a sudden. And your governor and them, you can't get any of them to show up and can't get them to even release a press release. Not even to say, I believe in Tish James. Nobody's saying anything. Well, in American politics, everyone recognizes what that means. Standing on my corner, nigga, you's a goner. Everybody else is like, I'll be damned. Let me go check my mortgage paperwork. Damn. That's what everybody else is thinking. New fear unlocked. New fear unlocked. Everybody else is like, oh, wait a minute, let me go check my paperwork. Let me check that mortgage. Oh, that loan statement. Damn, they thorough. Damn, Trump's people looking at everything. Let me go see if I can look at mine. Yeah, it's a whole bunch of folk right now looking at their loan documents, their IRS tax returns, their corporate straw. Oh, they looking at everything. Oh, women, new sheriff in town. Let me dot these I's and cross these T's before it's too late. So Kathy Hochul ain't saying nothing. Can you find a New York Assembly person who is coming to Tish James' defense? The Speaker of the Assembly, is she saying anything in Tish James' defense? Is anybody saying anything? Are they helping? Or have they brought her in? She's sitting next to Al Sharpton. Al has not been elected to anything. How about the folks who actually have to run for office and run the political structure? How about them? And here's the other thing. You notice she ain't said nothing about it? You know what that means, don't you? That means they already sent the word. Hey, don't mention my name. Don't mention my name. We can't stomp for you, baby. You radioactive right now. Hold on a minute. They got paperwork on you. They got paperwork on you. Don't mention my name. And she doesn't really have a choice, by the way. She doesn't really have a choice, by the way. Now, let's talk about consequences here. Let's talk about consequences. What happens if Tish James is convicted? If Tish James is charged, indicted, and successfully convicted, she could look at everything from jail time to loss of her license to practice law. One of the reasons that Governor Cuomo stepped down was because I think in New York State, you can't run for office if you're convicted of a crime. At least he got out of office before he could be convicted of anything, because that can cause issues with you being able to run for office. So there's a lot that goes into play there. But if you're Trump, hell, it's more valuable to take that damn law license from her than anything else. What is Tish James' big messy ass gonna do at what? How old is she now? About 60? She look old as hell. What's she gonna do without that law license at this damn point? Trump can go buy and sell other buildings. What is she gonna do? They yanked that law license. What is she going to do? Where's she going next? Y'all see, she's 66 years old. All right, she better get ready to start drawing that SSI. What? She better get ready to start drawing that SSI. Because they about to come take the properties. They about to come get that. They about to come get that. Oh, the properties, the second home. You thought you had some investment properties. Oh, we got to get that. Somebody said OnlyFans.
Nigga, please.
No, Tish James on OnlyFans. That is for the laugh factor only. No. Tish James on OnlyFans. Oh, no. That's only if fellas got a specific type of fetish. No. No, Tish James is not going to be one of the delights on OnlyFans. That's not going to happen. Fannie Willis will draw money on OnlyFans before Tish does. 66 years old. Looks like a failed WNBA player. Nah, she can't draw no money. She can draw some laughs, but she can't draw no money. No, it's not going to go good. It's not going to go good at all. But the most important part is to be able to accurately predict these things before they happen. To be able to forecast exactly what it is so that you don't start getting idiotic ideas in your head like the coast is clear. I was the guy who warned you all first that this was coming. Oh, he ain't going to do that. He ain't that bold. Watch him. And then you find out that, by the way, this wasn't what his Justice Department pulled up. This is what some freelancing dudes were able to go find. And most likely they found it before Trump was elected, but they needed him to get in the office before they could use it. Now that he's in office, they're just bringing him file after file. They're bringing him file after file now and saying, look, we got the goods. Basically, making it easy for them. They're just putting the case together for them. You got folk out here doing the footwork. They're doing the footwork before the FBI or the Department of Justice gets a hold of it. They're doing the footwork and basically compiling the case against her for them. All the prosecutors got to do is just make out the argument. Just make out the filing. These folk here done brought you everything. Names, dates, time, people. Circle this right here. They don't have to do any reading. They just came to you with a summary of what it is. You ain't even got to do any reading. They're telling you where they found it, how they got it, where it's filed at, who the niece is, what year, what date, what time. 45 days before she indicted Trump. They basically sat there and summed up the damn indictment for him. They basically put together your indictment for you. All you got to do is go file it. That's how serious these people are. Somebody said Norbit. Damn. Somebody said Norbit. Nah, folks, Letitia James is what happens when a man gives birth to a big awkward daughter. You know, you hope that pituitary gland don't get out of control, but sometimes it does, and now you just got to deal with the fallout, basically. You just kind of got to deal with the fallout. You're hoping you have a normal daughter, normal size and stuff. Here come big Tish James down the blue. What? So you sitting there already saying to yourself, I'll be damned. It's going to be a lifetime of awkward ass clothes. Where the hell we going to shop for this big awkward bastard? It's going to be a lifetime of awkward clothes. Everything's going to have to be dresses. She don't never get to wear no fly stuff. The stuff made by all the real fly, clothing designers, and she don't get to wear none of that. She don't get to wear none of that. Everything is Lane Bryant. Everything is Lane Bryant. And that's all we get for that, so it's just okay. So no, that's not chicanery. That's genetics. That's genetics. Somebody said dress barn. Nigga, please. Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah, where is Curtis at? As a matter of fact, Curtis, where you went? I don't see Curtis. Where is Curtis? I do not see Curtis here, so Curtis might be making a permanent vacation. Curtis might have to make a permanent vacation. Brothers and sisters, you have a whole bunch of folk out there that up until now, they thought they could take the black vote for granted. And I'm talking about black voters and black support. They thought they could take the black vote and black support for granted. And what they're finding out is, oh, it's a new day. No, you cannot. You can't even get us to speak up for you. There's another bunch of YouTube channels stomping for her. Ain't nobody doing that. Nobody's doing that. In the chat room, how much time could she get? Not really sure, but for Marilyn Mosby, they were trying to, I think they gave her like a year house arrest or something. So the real thing is having the conviction. So if she does get convicted, if it's Trump, he gonna try to put that heifer away for life.
And deal with it.
She gonna be the first son of a gun in American history to go to the electric chair for mortgage fraud. If Trump has his way, she will be the first person to get capital punishment for mortgage fraud. If he has his way. I am doubtful that that will occur, but don't expect him not to try it. Oh, don't. If Trump say the word, watch Pam Bondi go in front of the damn Supreme Court. Well, you know, we've been far too lenient on this. And so, just saying, if he have his way, oh, she gonna do a whole lot more than a year. He's gonna be like a year in probation, me ass. Oh, can y'all imagine Tish James in a jail cell? Them big ass feet up against the wall? What? Damn! Oh, can you imagine? She got to be, I mean, I don't know, because if she's on the top bunk, her legs is dangling. But yeah, you know, the average jail cell is what, 7 feet by 12? I'm like, I don't know. She might not fit. Oh, she might not fit. You lay her big ass down on them bunks up in there. The feet is, her head touching one wall by the window. The feet is touching the other one by the doors. Like she got to sleep on the floor. Oh, it's going to be hella awkward for her. It's not like they got like an extra large bunk you can be in. We built our bunks for average people, not for you. So yeah, buddy. Oh, she getting Charlie horses because she got to sleep with her legs scrunched up. She getting Charlie horses from having her legs scrunched up all the damn time. And I can just tell you right now, Tish look like she can do some time. Now, I gotta say that. Tish James, Lori Lightfoot. Damn. Them two hoes look like they can do some time. Did you call them hoes? I damn sure did.
And deal with it, nigga.
Yeah, them two awkward. They look like they can do some time. Tish and Lori look like they can do a bid. If y'all agree, give me the padlock emoji in the chat room. If y'all agree that Tish James and Lori Light, Tish James look like she can do some time. Maybe not no decade, but she look like she could do a bid. She looked like she could sit down for a minute. She looked like she could sit down for a minute. If you all agree, give me the padlock emoji. Can you imagine her first time in the showers? Oh, man. She gonna be looking at the soap. This is not Calgon. What? She gonna be sitting in there talking about her damn rights. Do they have washcloths in prison? I don't know if they do. They have washcloths, the sponges, whatever the hell the case may be. So we ain't got nothing. Oh, can you imagine that? What they gonna do when they take that raggedy ass weave off her head? Oh, what's it gonna look like then? Oh, is that roots? All right, baby, if that's not a weave, it damn sure needs to be. Oh, if that thing right there, baby, she looking like Al Sharpton from the old days. What's she gonna do when she ain't got access to it? Do they let women have hot irons in prison? Do they let them have hot irons in prison? Y'all, I'm asking the important questions. So yeah, it's gonna be straight gangster. Believe me. But she looked like otherwise she could do a bid. She'll settle in real quick. Fannie Willis? Oh, hell no. Fannie Willis and Keisha Bottoms? No. Keisha Bottoms can't make it. Lori Lightfoot? Oh, hell yeah. Lori Lightfoot can pull some time. Lori can pull some time. I hope she's consulting with Trish. Them two heifers look like they could pull some time. And Trish might be getting ready to do a little bit. If Trump have his way, oh baby, straight to the who's gal. And there you going. Don't even try to plea bargain out. You going. You going. Yeah, I don't know how rough Tish can be. I mean, if you 66 years old, when you think about it like Keefe D, I mean, how rugged and raw can a 66-year-old be, y'all? No, it's gonna be little young hoes with their hair and cornrows taking her damn cornbread every day. What's a 66-year-old gonna do? I mean, she better be ready to throw something. Somebody hand her a shank, but I mean, I know she look rough and bowdy, but I'm just asking, she's 66, y'all. Them young gals, I'm like, oh, wait a minute now. Have you ever seen a 66-year-old get up from a chair quickly? What? Have y'all ever seen a 66-year-old get up from a chair quickly? So she's sitting in a chair and somebody take off on her and steal on her. What's she gonna do? 66? Come on now. So some of y'all are optimistic. You're letting that just for men and that Mac cake makeup fool you. So don't let that deceive you. So I don't know if she's gonna do time necessarily or not. I know Trump gonna push for it. I don't know if he'll get her there, but I know he's going to push for it. But I also know he wants that law license. Oh, he really wants that? Trump really would want that law license. Can you imagine at her age, at 66, taking a law license from her? Because that's the only thing she has to bargain with is her ability to keep practicing law. So, oh, baby, no, he about to take that too. Remember what that did to F. Lee Bailey. Anybody who thinks that that's minor, remember what that did to F. Lee Bailey. And if they get a conviction on her, especially if they make it a felony, 66 years old. By the way, wouldn't that be crazy if Trump makes her a convicted felon? Damn! Y'all, wouldn't that be outrageous? Wouldn't that be wild? If when Trump gets done, if she's a convicted felon, wouldn't that be something? If we look up here in a couple of years and they talk about she's pled guilty to a felonies, let me get that law license, let me get that townhouse over here, you got to pay restitution. Oh, Alvin Bragg, that nigga will be on Prozac. Damn! Alvin Bragg will be on antidepressants. Alvin Bragg, oh, forget it. He's looking over everything. He's already had chicks making allegations on him. He gonna be looking over everything. So it's a whole bunch of people right now worried. That's the other reason they're so damn quiet. It's a whole bunch of them worried out there right now. They don't know how it's going to go. They don't know what it's going to be. But there's a whole bunch of them out there worried. And they should be. Furthermore, by the way, they should be. They should be worried. They should be worried about what's going on. They shouldn't be sleeping well. They should be worried about it. It's not going to be no sunshine. It's not a good thing. They should be worried about which way the wind going to blow. Because you see, they left us hanging for all this damn time. That's what they're worried about. This game you play where you get elected with black votes. And then when you get in office, you serve everybody else's interest except ours. No, they worried because the electorate is paying attention now. It's like they understand nobody's coming for you. Bringing you all full circle. Candace Owens, the white folk told her, baby, black folk ain't gonna stomp for you. Jason Whitlock, ain't no black folk gonna stomp for you. Kamala Harris, black folk ain't gonna stomp for you. Letitia James, Trump is like, heifer please, black folk ain't gonna stomp for you. He knows full well there ain't gonna be black folk taken to the streets for Letitia James. He already knows it. Everybody knows it. So he's like, baby, there's no reason I can't run buck wild on you. No reason I can't. And I'm showing you on this screen exactly what the reason is. This is pathetic. She really thinks that Asian support is going to save her. So right up until the very end, right up until they started saying the word indictment, now we can't get no Asians to show up nowhere with you. Somebody said dashiki time. That'll be the only damn thing that fits her. Her and Roland Martin, boy, that'll be weird if she does that. Oh, if she gets the dashiki on. She'll be wearing a dashiki and a fez. Jason, what? Yeah, she'll be wearing a dashiki and a fez. She got a dashiki and a fez and the red, black, and green scarf and the hijab. What? She gonna have on a hijab and a scarf and a fez and a dashiki. Tried to get them big ass mittens into some black fist gloves. She gonna try to shove them little piglet hands into some black leather gloves. Please understand, she gonna pull out everything. She gonna start quoting Malcolm X. Mark my words, if that indictment if they actually roll that indictment down, and I believe they will, if they roll that indictment on her ass, man, look here. Man, look here. If they roll that damn indictment on her, it's going to be a brand new Tish. She gonna start trying to talk about her sorority. She's gonna start talking about her sorority. She's gonna start talking about the Black Parade. She gonna do everything if that comes down. And I'm just here to tell you, Letitia James, it will fall on deaf ears. You have had years now to demonstrate something. We could have had all kinds of things done. Let me be clear about this. While you were doing nothing and wasting time, when you were doing nothing and wasting time, when you were doing nothing and wasting time out there, you could have been serving the people. Don't y'all understand? In practically every state of this union, we need an attorney general to file things for us to reclaim what the hell is ours. And instead of doing something that actually would have mattered, this big telephone built ass heifer, telephone pole built heifer, sat up here and did every damn thing except that. And I'm like, okay, baby, don't you know the bill always come due? The bill always comes due. And eventually they gonna come knocking on your door, and we're just gonna remind you, baby, we don't fool with you. You had your chance to show us that. You had your chance to do something for us. As the chief law enforcement officer of the state, you had your chance to file things for us. You running around chasing Donald Trump because your big, dumb, delusional ass sitting up here telling yourself that you were gonna be governor. Ain't nobody gonna elect your big giraffe-built ass as governor.
And deal with it, nigga.
You should have stuck with something you actually could get done. But that's why they choose them, because these are their hand-picked Negroes who ain't gonna do nothing. So, okay, all right, fine. Just remember, eventually them folk gonna come for you. Eventually those people gonna come for you, and when they do, you gonna try to scramble over here to us, and we gonna say, back up off me. Back up off me. We ain't got nothing for you. We ain't got nothing with you. Back up off me. We don't know who you are. We ain't trying to get acquainted. You had your chance to be down with the team. Don't worry about it. Now she's sitting here tonight trying to figure out how she gonna pay this legal bill. You got to fight the federal government. You can't put that on the taxpayer dime. State of New York ain't really gonna fool with that. This is a whole different issue. Then, like I said, if Trump get really dirty with it, indict your niece and anybody else in your family he can, everybody got to fight for themselves at the same damn time? Okay. So, we do not have a credible deterrent if when things like this happen, we come circling the wagons. It isn't a credible deterrent if when things like this happen, we come and circle the wagons. We have to actually be willing to show all of these black politicians that if you don't stand for us, we are not going to stand for you at all, and we will sit back and watch while Trump and his cronies come and drag every single one of you to the gallows. We're going to sit back and watch, because when they were doing it to us, you sat back and you watched. And when you were actually in a position of power and authority and you actually could have done something, you actually could have made a difference and could have done something. Hey, Big Tisha Pizza Built Ass James, what the hell good did it do you? Okay, so you prosecuted Trump. Oh, he's a felon. Oh, we got a judgment. Okay, and that did what? After you did all that clown car stuff you did. Okay, now what? What did it change? What did it do? What do you have to show for all that political theater? Just one big ass empty stunt. He went back to the White House and you going on trial. What the hell? How the hell was this worth it? What did you get for that? If you had left the whole damn matter alone, how would that have changed anything? So in other words, you wasted the last 3 years because they set you up to be they damn crash out. So I feel nothing. Nothing at all. Not gonna stomp for you, not gonna defend you, not gonna get in the damn way. You sat back and let the system run wild on us. We gonna sit back and let it run wild on you. And yes, I want it to serve as an example. Now, the corporate media and the Democrats don't want to play stuff like this that we say, oh no, we know exactly what we're doing. We want this to serve as an example. We want to make an example of you so that everybody else, anybody else who tries this and tries to tell themselves, oh, what's the worst they could do? They ain't really going to leave us hanging like that. Oh, yes, we will. We want this to serve as an example that if you don't stand for us, we gonna sit back and not stand for you. And when them people come for you, we are not gonna lift a finger and we won't say a word. Yeah, you really did show that you would abandon us. We really gonna show you we gonna abandon you. We really will. Oh, we really will. Hell of an early Christmas present. Old Tish James figured that she was a couple of years from this indictment, y'all. You know that's what she was thinking. She was thinking she was a couple of years away. She was thinking that she was a couple of years away from an indictment. She didn't think she was going to get one in the first 90 days. She's like, I'll be damned, that bastard in the White House moving quick. Yeah, I mean, he can have you in court within the next 12 calendar months and already have this whole damn thing wrapped up. Oh, he can have you in court in the next 12 calendar months and have all this wrapped up before he leaves the White House. Maybe you should have spent more time dealing with our business instead of being some delusional, whacked out crackhead thinking that you were going to take care of everybody else. And then when now you need help, you're running the Al Sharpton in front of black folk talking about no weapon will prosper. Looks like their weapons are doing pretty good against you so far. And right now, let me be clear with the next thing I say here. It better not get any further. Right now, Tisha James is in bad shape. She better hope that this is the last we hear about that thing and that Trump's White House and the DOJ decide to abandon it, because if they come back, if you see them come back, folks, it's all over. If they come back, it is all over. They going all the way in. They're going all the way in. So she better hope that this goes away quickly and they just decide not to follow it and they just decide to abandon it, because I'm telling y'all, if they come back with another announcement about that, this is because they've dotted their I's, dotted their I's and crossed their T's, checked the paperwork, made sure it was legit, and now they're coming. They're ready to make their case, and now they're coming. Let this be a message to all the black bootlicks out there. Yeah, your white paymasters might get you before it's over, but if you don't stand for us, we will get you. So you have a choice. Those who might get you and those who will. Choose carefully. You're only going to get one try at this. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. I want to thank everyone, and I do mean everybody who has contributed for a nice program on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo, Shy here, FBA Queen. Thank you very much for your support here tonight. Carla Faye, Cliff Johnson, Roach, everybody else here, thank you very much for your support as well. And to everyone who's contributed on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo. If you are new here to the Black Channel, welcome to the Haven of Intelligent Black Thought. We do this every weekend. Click that red subscribe button. Click that yellow notification bell. Join us each and every time that we're here. If you haven't been to our website, blackchannelfilms.com, check out our groundbreaking best-selling documentary work, blackchannelfilms.com. That is blackchannelfilms.com. I want to thank all of you for tuning in to tonight's program, live or recorded. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of the Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, black is the future, and the future is consequences.